What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. I appreciate everybody for liking and commenting and watching my last video. My last video been hit the double digits in views, so I appreciate that. Everybody that's been watching and sharing and liking and interacting with the channel. Before I start ending video off, y'all guys know I gotta let y'all know that I really appreciate all the love, all the support. So we're back at y'all with another video today. Man, it was a wild day in the NFL yesterday. So of course we gotta do some NFL talk, some football talk. We're gonna start with I'm just highlight a couple of games. It's quite crazy, it's quite sad and so quite predictable that Atlanta blows another lead to Tom Brady. Brady had a bounce back game yesterday in the second half. He was almost perfect, over 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. So Brady looked good yesterday. He had a bounce back game, albeit against Atlanta, but Tampa needed that win to further their playoff hopes, and I'll get into that toward the end of the video. I got a playoff picture. Little take for y'all about all of the seeds, what the seeding look like right now, because it did change last night. Well, actually it changed earlier in the day. But it's looking tight. A lot of teams, it's gonna be some teams heartbroken at the end of week 17 because everybody can't make it. And so that's what's exciting about it. Like these next couple of weeks of football, these last 2 weeks really finna be some good football. It's gonna be the best of the best. Playoff lives on the line, That's why I thought Las Vegas would come out and win, because see your whole season on the line. But anyways, another game I wanted to highlight was Chiefs and New Orleans. New Orleans Saints, that was a pretty good game. Maybe a preview of the Super Bowl. I don't know. The Chiefs are just really good, man. They can beat you in different ways. That's the thing. Their offense doesn't have to score 40 to win every time. Sometimes their defense shows up. Sometimes the run game just going so smooth that they don't have to throw the ball. It's just that team's just really good. It's not just their offense. Sometimes they win off special teams. That's a real championship complete team. They're a complete team. Their defense can be better, but what makes their defense go is they have solid veterans like Tyrann Mathieu and Chris Jones, elite level players surrounded by young guys they constantly teaching them. And the way that Tyrann Mathieu elevated his game last year in the playoffs, it just tells you all you need to know. Like that as a teammate, that would make me excited, wanting to play. And you see Breland stripping players and things like, so now it's rubbing off. That's a really good team. Like just top to bottom, that's a really good team. New Orleans, it was a close game though. New Orleans still played a good game. I don't blame Drew Brees for much of the loss yesterday. I mean, it was his first game back. He's not 100%. I didn't expect him to go crazy. I mean, he still had some good throws. He had a couple of tubs. So he still looked okay. I mean, I didn't expect much, and especially with Michael Thomas out, I didn't expect the record-breaking passing yard Drew Brees. I didn't expect that last night. And it still was a one-possession game, so that just tells you. Maybe if they recover that fumble in the end zone, out when Robinson fumbled on the kickoff, maybe if they recover that, it's a different ball game. Who knows? But it ended up being a safety, so that could have been the difference in the game. That's why I said, like, the Saints as well. The Saints are a complete team on both sides of the ball. They have weaknesses. Every team have some weakness, but their front seven, they're gonna get pressure. Their offense, we know their offense can put up points like that. So the Saints, they'll be all right. But and the last game that I wanted to highlight was the Sunday night football game, Cleveland Browns versus the New York Giants. and the Giants losing. What does this mean? Okay, first off, good game to the Cleveland Browns, to Baker. They furthered themselves and put themselves in a better position for the playoffs. And I'll talk about that as well in a second. But moving on to the Giants real quick, and what does this mean? Okay, if the Giants would have won last night, they would have jumped into first place. Currently, right now, the Washington football team, is in first place. They're 6-8. They're currently right now they're in first place. Now the Giants losing, that puts them in third place. That bumps the Dallas Cowboys up to second, and the Eagles have moved down to 4. Now, what does this mean? Okay, Washington can't win the division if they win out. Washington has a tiebreaker over Dallas. New York has beat Washington twice, which is what's crazy about the Giants losing last night, because if the Giants win that game, they're in first place. They swept Washington already. They got Dallas left on the schedule week 17. So the Giants would have put themselves in a good position to win the division last night. So the division is still for the taking. The Giants are only a game back, and they own the tiebreaker over Washington. However, last night just kind of put you in a better position, because this week coming up, the Giants play the Ravens. The Ravens, I'll get to that in a second as well. They're on the outside looking into the playoffs. So it's like, dang, you have to beat the Browns. It's 2 back-to-back tough opponents. So the Giants, I don't know. We really gonna have to see if they stick it out and if they can come take the first place spot. Now, what does this mean for Dallas? By strength of schedule, Dallas have the easiest schedule remaining. We play Philadelphia this weekend, and then the Giants. So if we were to win out, Washington would have to lose one of their next 2 games. But if Washington win out, then it's pretty much over because they own the tiebreaker over us. So, but we're only a game back right now. So who knows? Who knows? The NFC East have been like this all year. It's been one team has never held first place for more than a week. Like, that's crazy. Yeah, guys. So I say the best for last. What I really wanted to get into, what I'm really excited about getting into for the video, we got the playoff picture for y'all. Now, it's a lot of scenarios. It's a lot of stuff that can go down that can really alter the season. It's going to be some teams crushed at the end of week 17. Because it's tight. It's tight in both conferences, but it's more tight in the AFC. Right now, okay, the Chiefs are the number 1. Steelers are number 2. Bills are 3. But this is where it gets tricky at. And the Bills are 11-3. Okay, so right under them are 10-4 Tennessee, 10-4 Cleveland, 10-4 Indianapolis. Okay. Now, it's tricky because those teams are in a tie. They're in a tie for 3rd place. So Buffalo could just so happen to lose. And one of those teams could easily slide up. So that's what's interesting about it. However, those teams are in trouble if they lose. The season isn't over. Of course, either Tennessee or Indianapolis is going to make the playoffs. Somebody has to represent their division. But right now, they have the same record. However, now for the one that doesn't make the playoffs, let's say if Tennessee doesn't make it, then the Colts will go in as a division winner, and Tennessee could possibly make the playoffs because 2 teams from the same division can make the playoffs. But if Tennessee were to lose, Baltimore's right there. If Baltimore beat the Giants this week, that's 10-5, and Tennessee will go to 10-5 and slip down. Tennessee would slip all the way out of the playoffs, or the Colts, whichever. You see what I'm saying? So it's so tricky. And right now, Miami has the last playoff spot at 9-5. They are the last seed right now. So they can't slip up. They're not guaranteed the playoffs right now. So none of these spots in the AFC are guaranteed. It is not. So that's what make it tricky and interesting. Like, football is really there right now, and the last 2 weeks gonna really show. Cause Baltimore's on that they're the 8th seed, and there's only 7 can go in. So right now, Baltimore's on the outside looking in. You know, they trying to win now and get to the playoffs. So that's something to watch these next 2 weeks. And on the NFC side, Packers got home field. Right now, the playoffs go to the Packers. I feel like that's so dangerous. Oh, man. You got to go. The playoffs got to go through Green Bay. Got to go through Lambeau Field. Like, it's going to take a team to go up there and beat them. I ain't no upset. No, that's not happening in Lambeau. No, not up there. Maybe like in their home stadium, but no, not in that cold. New Orleans has the 2nd seed at 10-4. Now, this is what's interesting about that. New Orleans could slide down. They could stay where they at. They could slide down. If the Packers were to somehow lose, New Orleans could slide up to the number 1. They're only 1 game back. However, if New Orleans lose and Seattle win, Seattle goes up to the 2 seed. New Orleans goes down to the 3. So it's the seeding matters. That really matters. The seeding and playoffs matter because you might get a good matchup, a favorable matchup. It happens all the time. Wild card teams, like Tennessee last year, Tennessee played the perfect opponents for them. They were built last year to beat that Tom Brady Patriots team with no receivers, where they could just strictly focus on running and hitting Tom, stopping the running game and hitting Tom. They were built to do that. They were built to run the ball on that defense because the defensive player of the year, the reigning defensive player of the year, Stephon Gilmore, was on the other side last year. He's a Patriot in the secondary, so you're not gonna throw on them. Of course, they're built with Henry to run the ball right down their throat. We seen in the regular season last year, if you remember, Baltimore ran it all down New England. So they were built. It was perfect matchup for them. Then you go on the next week, and they played Lamar Jackson them. They were built to beat them because they ran the ball well, and because they ran the ball so well, the play action was wide open because Baltimore sold out to stop the run because they could not stop the run. That's why they went and built their defensive line up this year. They said they not letting that happen again. So that just goes to show you, like, seeding can really matter and play into your favor. And then when the Titans finally ran into somebody that style wasn't gonna work on because the Chiefs can score so many points and they might force you to stop running the ball sometimes. So once they got to a team that had an offense and that was built defensively that can kind of stop, they actually played very good on Henry. Despite how their defense looked the whole year, they looked good on Henry in the AFC Championship game. So it just goes to show you, like, the seeding really can matter. It can play in your favor. The Rams, after what they did yesterday, they still have a playoff spot. They're sitting at 9-5. They're the 5 seed. Buccaneers are the 6 seed at 9-5, and Arizona has the last playoff spot in the NFC at 8-6. Now, here's what's interesting about that. Arizona playoff spot isn't guaranteed because the Bears are right behind them at 7-7, and the Vikings are right there at 7-7. One slip up in these next 2 weeks, we got somebody else sliding into the playoffs. That's why I said it's interesting because if the Bears, Vikings, Arizona can't all make it. And the Bucks, they should be lucky that they didn't slip that game up yesterday either, or they will be in a bind right now because they will be 8-6, tied for the last spot. So the Bucks can't really slip up. That's what I'm saying. Like it's tight. It's gonna make for good football, y'all. Who do y'all got going to the Super Bowl? I think we might seen a Super Bowl preview yesterday. With the Chiefs and Saints, I'm not sure. The NFC is gonna be hard to go through. It won't be a cakewalk for the Chiefs either, but uh, they just so good. Like it would not surprise me if they went back to the Super Bowl. Just being honest, as a football fan, but y'all let me know who y'all got, man. Who y'all think coming out the NFC? Who y'all think coming out the AFC? And we got NBA basketball tomorrow, y'all. We back. I'm going to do an NBA coverage video before the games. Letting y'all know, who playing. Well, now I'm quite sure y'all already know who playing, but we're going to talk about the games, expectations for the season, some more previews, some more what do you call it? Like predictions before the season start. And we're gonna see. Y'all drop y'all predictions in. I'll be able to let y'all drop y'all predictions in under the video in the comments on the Instagram. And we're gonna see. We're gonna see. I really wanna see like how this season's gonna work, because this is the first season where we can travel, where NBA players can travel, and the teams can travel with COVID going on and all of those things like that. Because it was in a bubble last year, so just like in the NFL where players have to hit the COVID reserve list, I'm sure it's gonna be like that too. So hopefully it's a healthy season. Everybody stay healthy. Hopefully for these NFL playoffs, everybody stay healthy. Have a healthy season. Good football, good basketball. Perfect timing for basketball. Right as football is ending. So we got a lot of content coming for y'all. I thank y'all for watching, liking and commenting and giving me the time out y'all day. I appreciate all the love on the last video. So thank y'all for that.